now. What's up, guys? I'm back, and today I'm gonna predict the Liberty football schedule for 2026. Now, if you guys are wondering, you already did this. Why are you making another one? Well, because Liberty changed their schedule a little bit. So I wanted to do a new video. And the other video, I'm probably going to put that video on private. So yeah, let's get into talk about Liberty football. And let's talk about them from last season first. Liberty finished with a 4-8 record last year. They beat Maine 28-7. They lost to Jacksonville State 34-24. Anyways, their schedule, they beat Maine 28-7. That gave them a 1-0 overall record and a 0-0 conference record. And they lost to Jacksonville State 34-24. That gave them a 1-1 overall record and a 0-1 conference record. And they lost to Bowling Green 23-13. That gave them a 1-2 overall record and an 0-1 conference record. And they lost to James Madison 31-13. That gave them a 1-3 overall record and an 0-1 conference record. And they lost to Old Dominion 21-7. That gave them a 1-4 overall record and an 0-1 conference record. They beat UTEP 19-8. That gave them a 2-4 overall record and a 1-1 conference record. They beat New Mexico State 30-27. That gave them a 3-4 overall record and a 2-1 conference record. They beat Delaware 59-30. That gave them a 4-4 overall record and a 3-1 conference record. They lost to Missouri State 21-17. That gave them a 4-5 overall record and a 3-2 conference record. They lost to FIU 34-27 in overtime. That gave them a 4-6 overall record and a 3-3 conference record. Excuse me. They lost to Louisiana Tech 34-28 in overtime. That gave them a 4-7 overall record and a 3-4 conference record. They lost to Kennesaw State 48-42 in 2 overtimes, who turned out to be actually pretty good last year. And that gave Liberty a 4-8 overall record and a 3-5 conference record. So yeah, they finished with a 4-8 overall record last year and a 3-5 conference record last year. They missed out on a bowl game. Anyways, here is their schedule for this year. As we can see it, they opened the season on the road against James Madison, which was originally supposed to be the case, and it still is. James Madison was a really good football team last year. They made the college football playoffs last year, but they lost to Oregon in the first round, 51-34. But they played really good in the second half of that game, same you did. And they also beat Liberty last year, 31-13. I think Liberty will lose this game, and I have the movement to 0-1. So I think Liberty will lose this game, and I have the movement to 0-1 on the season. The next game for Liberty football will be at home against Gardner-Webb. This was originally supposed to be the next game, and it still is the case. Gardner-Webb is an FCS school. They went like 7-5 at the FCS level last year, but I still think Liberty's a lot better than this Gardner-Webb team. I think Liberty will dominate them. I think Liberty will win this game in a blowout probably, and have the movement to 1-1 on the season. The next game for Liberty football will be at home against Ball State, and this was originally supposed to be the case, and it still is. Ball State was really bad at football last year, and they have been really bad at football for a while. I don't even know the last time they were good at football. They're never a good team at football, Ball State. I think Liberty will win this game in a blowout, probably, and I have the movement to 2-1 on the season. The next game for Liberty football will be on the road against Coastal Carolina on a Thursday night. Liberty was originally supposed to play at Coastal Carolina on a Thursday night, and that still is the case. Coastal Carolina went 6-7 last year. They made a bowl game, but they lost in their bowl game to Louisiana Tech. And Liberty had to change their schedule because Louisiana Tech was originally going to join the Sun Belt last season, and then they decided to join the Conference USA, and they had 20 games on their schedule. They decided to go back to the Sun Belt, and they had to take some of those games off, and also Liberty had to change their schedule a little bit, and all the teams in the Conference USA. But the next game for Liberty, and I forgot to pick this game, sorry, at Coastal Carolina. So I think this will be a trap game. Even though Coastal Carolina went 6-7 last year, I think Liberty will lose this game, and I have the movement to 2-2 on the season. The next game for Liberty football will be on the road against Delaware on a Friday night. This was originally supposed to be the case, and it still is. Delaware went 7-6 last year, but last season Liberty beat them 59-30. I think this will be a pretty good game. I know Delaware was a better team than Liberty was last year, but Liberty dominated them last year. I think Liberty will win this game, and I have the movement to 3-2 on the season. The next game for Liberty football will be at home against Sam Houston on a Thursday night. Liberty football was originally supposed to play at home against Sam Houston on a Thursday night, and that still is the case. Sam Houston went 2-10 last season, and they were a really bad team last season. They took a step down after going 10-3 in 2024. I think this will be an easy win for Liberty football, and I have the movement to 4-2 on the season. All right, next Liberty will have a bye week the week of Saturday, October 17th. And this week they were originally supposed to play at Western Kentucky on a Wednesday night, but now it's a bye week. And the next game for Liberty football will be on the road against Kennesaw State on a Wednesday night. Liberty was originally supposed to play this Wednesday night, but they were originally supposed to play at home against Louisiana Tech. And this is really the second change of the schedule this year. Kennesaw State went 10-4 last year and won the Conference USA. But the year before that, they went 2-10, but they still beat Liberty that year as well, and they also beat them last year. I think Liberty will lose this game and have them move it to 4-3 on the season. The next game for Liberty football will be at home against FIU on Halloween, and this will also be homecoming. And this was originally supposed to be the case this game. FIU went 7-5 last year, taking a step up, and they also beat Liberty last year, 34-27 in overtime. I think this could be a tap game for Liberty, but I think they will win this game, and I have the movement to 5-3 on the season. The next game for Liberty football will be on the road against New Mexico State. New Mexico, and this was originally supposed to be the game this 1 week. New Mexico State went 3-9 last year. I think they went New Mexico State. I can't remember how they did. They either were 3-9 or 4-8 last year. And Liberty beat New Mexico State last year 30-27. But they nearly lost to them. And a few years ago, we got to see this. And back in 2023, Liberty and New Mexico State both made the Conference USA Championship game. And Liberty won against them in the Conference USA Championship that year. But lately, New Mexico State has been really bad. After losing quarterback Diego Pavia, which was actually a few years ago. I think Liberty will win. I think Liberty will win this game, but I have the movement to 6-3 on the season. The next game for Liberty football will be at home against Middle Tennessee, and this was originally supposed to be the case. So Middle Tennessee went like 4-8 last year, or 3-9, something like that. They're never good at football. Middle Tennessee. They're never good. I think Liberty will win this game, and I have the movement to 7-3 on the season. The next game for Liberty football will be at home against Western Kentucky. Originally, this week was supposed to be a bye week, but now it's at home against Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky was really solid last year. They went like 9-4 last year. I think that's what it was. I think this is a tap game for Liberty football. I think Liberty will lose this game, and I have the movement to 7-4 on the season. The last game of the regular season for Liberty football will be on the road against Missouri State. And this week was originally supposed to be a road game against Kennesaw State. Missouri State went 7-6 last year. They were actually a really solid team for their first year in the FBS level. And Liberty almost beat this Missouri State team last year, but Missouri State came back and won. It was at Liberty, by the way, last year. Missouri State came back. Liberty was up 10-0 at halftime, but Missouri State came back and won 21-17. I think this is another tough game for Liberty football, and I think Liberty will lose this game, but I have Liberty finishing the season with a 5-3 conference record and a 7-5 overall record. I do think Liberty will be better this year. And with those two games against Western Kentucky and Missouri State, I could really see them winning both of those games, but I just don't see it happening. Or at Coastal Carolina, I could also see them winning that game as well. But I think this is what I think they will go. I think those are both trap games against Western Kentucky and Missouri State, but I think winning one of them is possible. But I don't think they will win both of them. I don't think they will win one of them. I think they will lose both of them. But anyways, that will do it for the video. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't yet. And bye-bye. See you next time.